Greetings. I'm Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Wellness Series for Caregivers, a collaboration between my office and the PSS Circle of Care. I do not believe we can do enough for the caregivers in our homes and in our communities. Most of them will humbly say that they do it out of love or concern, but caregiving can take a toll on a person's emotional, physical, and mental well-being. Studies show that family caregivers often carry a great deal of stress, and many neglect their own well-being in favor of meeting their caregiving responsibilities. With this in mind, it is imperative that Brooklynites be provided with relevant information and tools that educate and support. During this series, many important issues will be covered, such as basic caregiving, elder law, mindfulness and meditation, COVID-19, and understanding dementia. Although the subjects are serious, we hope you find the presentations engaging and light, with the goal of providing you with the tools and strategies for effective caregiving. And as you learn and engage, hopefully you'll do it in an environment that lets you know that you are not alone. Thank you for your selfless caring and support. Please enjoy the series.
Without further ado, Madison, you'll start, or Matt, you'll start.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. We're so happy to have you back here with us on another Wednesday, today for Understanding Dementia. So as Cheyenne kindly said, my name is Madison and I am joined here by my colleague Medj, and we are two care consultants with PSS Circle of Care. In case you aren't familiar with PSS, we were founded in 1962 by a group of volunteers to help serve older members of their church community. Today, PSS has evolved into an innovative multi-service agency working for New York City's older adults, family caregivers, and their families. Our mission is to strengthen their capacity to thrive. We create community. Today, PSS operates 10 community centers for older adults throughout Upper Manhattan and the Bronx. We offer numerous educational programs at our satellite campuses as well as online, although today most are being held online just to keep everyone as safe as possible as we can due to COVID-19. We have 3 residences, including the Grandparent Family Apartments in the Bronx, where we also have a program to assist caregiving youth and kinship caregivers of all ages. We have our Coming of Age New York City program to help those 50 or older to live with purpose and passion by offering fun and interactive virtual events for them to attend. We, of course, have our Circle of Care program to help family caregivers caring for a loved one or another family or friend. Some things you may not know about caregivers are that more people are or will become family caregivers because their parents and spouses are living longer. As people age, they're more likely to develop a physical or cognitive impairment that reduces their ability to function independently. This is particularly true for those in their 80s, which is the fastest growing US population group. Today, nearly 1 million New Yorkers are caring for a family member. 50% of those New Yorkers are under the age of 50, while 25% are millennials. On average, someone will be a caregiver for a loved one for about 5 years. Caregivers are of all races, ethnicities, and incomes. Today, caregivers rarely self-identify as a family caregiver because they feel they are just doing what needs to be done as a loving and responsible spouse or child. We don't like to think of caring for our moms, dads, aunts, uncles, or spouse as a job when we are their loved one. And it's common for caregivers not to know where to turn to get help. That's where PSS Circle of Care can step in and be of assistance. Because we're funded by both state and city government, all of our services are offered completely free of charge, and all clients, regardless of income levels, will be served. Our approach is to build the capacity of the caregiver so that we can create more confident comfortable caregivers, as well as building the capacity of their community to help support that caregiver. We do this through awareness building workshop, volunteer caregiver training, and more. Prior to COVID-19, we also had care stations located in every borough. These care stations were utilized to meet caregivers, hold educational trainings, and get new information out there. However, last March, 2020, we did pivot to offer all of these services online through virtual platforms as well as over the phone, so that we're still able to meet as many caregiver needs as possible. For our caregivers, we offer individual and family consultations to keep everyone who wants to be actively involved in a care recipient's care plan involved as possible. We offer support groups in person, online, or by phone, educational trainings such as this one, Understanding Dementia, or the Powerful Tools Workshop Series for family caregivers. We use these to help educate caregivers on new practices, better understanding of diagnoses, and more, so that people can be up to date, as up to date as possible with new information. We offer wellness and joint enrichment activities, such as memory cafes for both caregivers and their care recipient to enjoy. We also offer respite, which is temporary time off with care in or outside of the home. Again, due to COVID restrictions, most respite is being provided within the care recipient's own home, as restrictions and new precautions are in place for out-of-home respite agencies. At this time, Medj and I want to thoroughly welcome you to our presentation of Understanding Dementia. We hope you're able to learn something new from this presentation, and we encourage you that if you have any questions or concerns or any thoughts that pop into your head, to please put those in the chat or Q&A box, and we're happy to address those at the end. At this time, I want to introduce you to Medj.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for Understanding Dementia. So now, what is dementia? Dementia is a group of thinking and social symptoms that interferes with daily functioning. This is categorized by a decline in memory, communication and speech, focus and concentration, reasoning and judgment, and visual perception. Okay, so the common types of dementia. The most common type of dementia is Alzheimer's, which is diagnosed in nearly 60 to 80% of all cases. This is followed by vascular dementia, which accounts for about 10% of all cases. The damage of vascular dementia is when the damage to the vessels that supply blood to the brain is caused by the damage to the vessels that supply blood to the brain. And this is also, we also have Lewy body dementia, frontotemporal dementia, mixed dementia, and also unspecified dementia. Other diagnoses that we commonly run into when working with individuals who have memory loss is when someone has a traumatic brain injury that results in them having some memory loss, and also Parkinson's with some memory loss. So because people are living longer, their risk for being diagnosed with dementia increases. Age is the greatest factor for dementia. Most of my care receivers are in their 80s and 90s, but I do also have some that are as young as in their 60s. An estimated 250,000 New Yorkers are diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. This is just Alzheimer's. This is not including Lewy body or any of the other different kinds of dementias. Now, a person living with dementia will experience several cognitive and psychological changes. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down some of those psychological changes, which includes personality changes. I often hear, you know, my mother used to be such a sweet woman. Now she gets easily agitated, or she's verbally aggressive. And this is something that's so new and so different to me. Other psychological changes, depression, which is very common. There's anxiety, inappropriate behaviors, paranoia, agitation, and hallucinations. And then for the cognitive changes, We have memory loss, which is usually noticed by someone living with the care receiver. So the care receiver is an individual who has dementia. And a lot of the time I hear from long distance caregivers, well, you know, I visit my grandmother weekly and I don't see any symptoms of memory loss, when there's a sibling that's living in the home that can say, well, I'm with mom all the time. And she does have moments where, you know, something's going on with her memory, or she misplaces something, or she accuses, you know, someone of something. So it's always the person that's living with, well, it's usually someone that's really close to the care receiver that's able to determine, something's different about this person. So for cognitive changes, we also have difficulty communicating or finding words, difficulty with visual and spatial abilities, such as getting lost while driving or while getting on the train, difficulty reasoning or problem solving, difficulty handling complex tasks, difficulty with planning and organizing. This is especially true when it comes to paying bills. So it could be someone who is probably, you know, my father used to be, this is an example, but someone could say, my father used to be so good at, you know, paying the bills on time and making sure everything was situated. But I came to his house a couple of days ago and saw that he was overdoing several bills, and that's not like him. So that's one of the first cognitive changes that you'll see. Difficulty with coordination and motor functions, and just general confusion and disorientation.
As Matt said, there's been approximately 250,000 New Yorkers who have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And while Alzheimer's can look different for each and every individual, it's typically broken down into 3 stages: early stage Alzheimer's, middle stage Alzheimer's, and late stage Alzheimer's. There's no cookie cutter explanation for each stage of Alzheimer's, the length of time that an individual may be in each stage, or exactly what a care recipient will experience in each stage. But some of the symptoms that can be seen in each stage, beginning with early stage, is the difficulty doing routine activities. An individual may begin to experience subtle short-term dementia. A failing sense of direction and a misplacing of items are 2 very common symptoms that are early identified with Alzheimer's. At this stage, a patient can still understand implications of their illness and articulate concerns that they have. In middle stage Alzheimer's, the care recipients may begin experiencing increasing cognitive impairment, a problem recognizing family and friends. Communication difficulties and mood swings are often prevalent and common in middle stage Alzheimer's. During this stage, concerns include loss of control, fear of abandonment, and frustration. In late stage Alzheimer's, the care recipient is no longer able to care for themselves. There's limited verbal communication, minimal recognition, and total incontinence. Some limited cognitive ability may still occur at this stage, but as I said, each stage can look different for each individual. This is not one size fits all. It is not, you must be exhibiting these symptoms to be in this particular stage. Alzheimer's is kind of different for everyone and done on a case by case and individual by individual basis.
So now, why get a diagnosis? So now there is no one test to determine if someone has dementia. Doctors diagnose dementia based on a careful medical history, physical examination, laboratory tests, memory and cognitive tests, and characteristic changes in thinking. Formal diagnosis from a team of doctors has been proven to be 90 to 95% accurate. Although there is no cure for dementia, there are many things doctors can suggest to slow down the progression. So the sooner the family knows and accepts the diagnosis, the sooner the care receiver can get the assistance they need. This includes access to treatment options, opportunity to participate in clinical trials, emotional and social benefits, having the opportunity to plan ahead, and getting help for the caregiver and care recipient sooner rather than later. So now, what can caregivers do? Here at PSS Circle of Care, we always recommend that caregivers create what we call a long-term care plan. So this could include the care receiver's health proxy, power of attorney, having the opportunity to speak with the care receiver while they're alert and oriented to see what would they want to happen in a situation when they progress. There's also finances, whether or not they want to pay private pay to home health aid or go to an assisted living facility, whether or not they want to consider the option of long-term care Medicaid. And some care receivers actually have long-term care insurance policies that they purchased in the past that they can read through to find out how to qualify for those services. So now, because caregiving is and can become very expensive, there are actually no more long-term care policies. So if someone has them, that's a good opportunity to save on money and just to have someone there as a home health aide for assistance. Other useful recommendations: seeing a physician, making sure that the care receiver sees their primary care physician regularly. Oftentimes I have caregivers tell me, well, I'm not sure when's the last time my mom went to see her primary care physician, or she hasn't gone in over 10 years. So making sure that, they go at least once a year to their primary care physician. Asking for help. Caregiving is hard. So asking for help is so good when trying to get the resources and the referrals that you need. Again, making sure the paperwork is in order. This is the wills, the power of attorney, and the healthcare proxy. The best time to do this is in the early stages, like Madison mentioned, when they are alert and oriented and still able to do this. Joining a support group. Support groups give you the opportunity to meet individuals who are going through similar experiences. So I always encourage caregivers to go to support groups and try different support groups. And then just taking care of yourself and your health. Not taking on more than you can handle, and making sure that you always have your me time.
What else can caregivers do? Well, as a family caregiver or a referral partner, you can contact PSS Circle of Care's toll-free hotline at 866-665-1713 or email us at careinfo@pssusa.org. You can do this in both English and Spanish, as we're able to help all. Inquiries will then be screened and assigned to one of our care consultants, such as Meg and I, if necessary. A care consultant will then initially call the caregiver to learn more about their unique and personal situation, and if necessary, an appointment to complete a caregiver and care receiver assessment will be scheduled. Due to COVID-19, we're conducting all of these assessments and calls virtually over Zoom, Teams, or a different platform that you may be familiar with, as well as over the phone, whichever you're more comfortable with. Care consultations are then provided to provide information and resources to the caregiver, as well as those taking place virtually and over the phone. Over the course of several consultations, they should be able to provide all the information the caregiver needs, direct the caregiver to appropriate services and supports, as well as link them to nearby support groups, educational trainings, or wellness events that they may benefit from. We keep our caregivers constantly informed through follow-up calls, emails, and monthly news e-letters. As we said earlier, all of PSS Circle of Care services are free of charge. Because we are funded by both city and state government, there is no catch or financial eligibility screening for our services. Again, some of our services include one-on-one consultations as a caregiver. We want to help to identify what you could benefit from the most and how we can help you achieve those goals. We also offer family consultations to get the caregiving team or any other family or friends involved in helping you information that they may need so that you guys can all remain on the same page and as involved as possible. We offer Telechat support groups or virtual support groups to help connect caregivers with other caregivers in similar situations. This allows opportunity to share advice, frustrations, and things that you're each going through so that maybe you're able to learn tips and tricks from other caregivers in attendance. We offer many educational trainings, such as this Understanding Dementia, as well as Dementia Raw, to help give our caregivers more perspective on the care recipient's point of view, as well as to keep our caregivers as educated as possible with new information being made aware. Information is constantly being updated and coming out, so we do our best to keep our caregivers up to date as possible. We also offer wellness events for caregivers. This could include everything from a book club where caregivers can come together to read and discuss the same book, a sip and paint, just to bring caregivers together to provide a little bit of a break in their days, and more. We also offer memory cafes, which are joint enrichments, which are essentially a wellness event for both caregivers and care receivers. A joint enrichment is a time for caregivers and care recipients to come together to enjoy a fun, interactive activity. We offer transportation opportunities for caregivers, whether if you need help getting to or from a doctor's appointment or an event that you wanted to attend to treat yourself or to give yourself a break from your responsibilities. We are happy to assist as many as we can with transportation to and from those events. We also offer technology to assist with wandering care recipients, whether that be a door alarm to alert you if the care recipient is trying to leave the home unattended or by themselves, or a baby monitor so that you can listen out for falls or, again, doors and windows opening when they shouldn't be. And of course, our respite, short-term and temporary home care inside of the home to, again, provide a caregiver with a break from their many duties and responsibilities. While respite is not meant to take the place of home care, we can use it while assisting in identifying a long-term care plan for you and your loved one so that we can help you in achieving that. So when respite is over, you have a plan in place for the future. And of course, we always are here to offer advocacy and assistance, whether that be help finding resources for power of attorneys, wills, elder care, Medicaid specialists. We're here to connect our caregivers with those resources to, again, empower them and make them as comfortable and as confident as they can in their role as a caregiver.
So on this slide, we do have some of the resources that caregivers have used in the past that they have found these resources helpful. I do see that some of you called in, so I'll just go ahead and say them: AARP, Cancer Care, Caring Kind, DOROT, NY Connects, New York Foundation for Senior Citizens, the Department of Aging, which PSS is funded by, the Department of Health, which PSS is funded by, New York Legal Assistance Group, RSS Adult Day Program for Early Memory Loss, and VNS NY. Okay, so understanding dementia is a process. Sometimes caregivers will ask me, what can they expect? And besides the general, explanation that was provided in this presentation, it's very difficult to answer because each person living with dementia is different. So they'll have different signs and symptoms, they'll progress differently, and they'll even react to the solutions differently, the solutions that I may give differently. What's important is that caregivers continue to educate themselves in order to make the best decisions for their loved ones. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Understanding Dementia. Do we have any questions?
Thank you all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. If you have any question, please add it in the chat. And I know the presentation was very clear and precise. Maybe that's why nobody has any questions. But if you miss any part of it, or if you think somebody will benefit from this presentation, you can also go to our website, pssusa.org/resources, and you can find all the past presentation, and this one will be posted in two days, I believe. So it will be posted on our website. So if you have any question, or if you missed a part of it, if you want to share with someone, please do so. And then we also have a lot of other presentation in our website that might be beneficial to you. And then also, if you want to get any support, so this is our number, 866-665-1713. We do offer services in English and Spanish, or if any other language. We do have a language line that can help us communicate with the family member. Am I right, ladies?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So if you are interested in any of the services that Madison mentioned, you can go ahead and call this number or send us to this email, so that you're able to be assigned a care consultant and be able to benefit from our free services.
Yes. Okay. I think this is it for today. Any questions? Okay, if any question, we want to thank all of you for joining us today. Remember, we do have a big event tomorrow. The first, it's called Don't Be Fooled. It's Skimolar. It's about scamming. So I think it's a very important topic that a lot of older adults are being fooled, I can say, and then people take advantage of them a lot. So we want to bring awareness to our community. So if you have time, if you know somebody that might be interested, you can go to our website, pssusa.org/event, and you will see the registration for the night for tomorrow. And I'll be there with all of you again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Bye-bye now.